Picture this. You're cruising down the highway when suddenly your engine starts knocking. The temperature gauge spikes. Steam pours from under the hood. Your car is dying, and you're not even at 70,000 miles yet. Sound like a nightmare? For millions of drivers, it's reality. 1 in every 3 people will face a major breakdown before hitting 100,000 miles. Some cars don't even make it halfway there. I've spent decades working on vehicles that should have lasted, but didn't. Engines seizing at 40,000 miles. Transmissions failing at 50,000. Warranties becoming worthless at 60,000. Today, I'm exposing 15 cars that consistently die young, leaving their owners stranded and broke. The last one on this list might shock you. It's America's best-selling vehicle, yet Consumer Reports calls it one of the worst ever built. Let's start with number 15, the Dodge Dart. Chrysler positioned this compact sedan as their answer to the Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla. Instead of reliable transportation, buyers got a rolling disaster. The 2013 through 2016 model years all suffered from the same fatal flaw, sudden stalling while driving. Imagine you're merging onto a busy highway when your engine just dies. No warning, no sputtering, just complete power loss in traffic. That's exactly what happened to thousands of Dart owners. NHTSA received countless complaints about cars losing power without any indication of trouble. The average failure occurred between 30,000 and 50,000 miles, well before most people finished their loan payments. The problems didn't stop there. The Tiger Shark engines burned oil like they had holes in the pistons. Not just a little seepage, but enough to foul spark plugs, trigger misfires, and destroy catalytic converters early. Chrysler faced class action lawsuits over this oil consumption issue. Meanwhile, the transmissions added their own misery. The 6-speed automatic units lagged and slipped constantly, while manual versions suffered premature clutch failures. For a car marketed as affordable transportation, repair bills mounted quickly. If you're browsing used car lots and see a Dart with an attractive price tag, keep walking. I've witnessed too many owners having these cars towed away before reaching 70,000 miles. Number 14 brings us to the Hyundai Elantra, specifically the 2014 model year. While the sleek exterior styling attracted buyers, the engine underneath told a different story. The main culprit was premature bearing failure in both the 1.8 and 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engines. Once bearing wear begins, you'll hear a distinctive ticking or thumping sound from the engine bay. Ignore these warning signs, and the motor will seize completely. According to NHTSA documents, Hyundai was forced to extend engine warranties due to metal debris left in engine blocks during the manufacturing process. This debris blocked critical oil passages, starving bearings of lubrication and causing catastrophic failures. The problems extended beyond the engine. Electrical glitches plagued these vehicles, including power steering failures that left drivers struggling to control their cars. Random no-start conditions stranded owners in parking lots. Weak suspension bushings made the ride feel sloppy long before normal wear should occur. Engine failures create expensive headaches, but our next vehicle had a turbocharged setup that literally cooked itself to death. Number 13 is the Chevrolet Cruze, produced from 2011 through 2017. GM marketed this compact as budget-friendly transportation for commuters. What buyers received was anything but economical. The 1.4-liter turbocharged engine was the primary villain. Coolant leaks developed from failing water pumps and poorly designed thermostat housings. The turbocharger system generated excessive heat that destroyed the PCV system, leading to rough idling, oil consumption, and persistent check engine lights. Timing chain stretch became common, requiring expensive engine disassembly to repair. Transmission problems compounded the misery. The 6-speed automatic units developed slipping, shuddering, and failed pressure solenoids that left drivers stranded. NHTSA complaints documented numerous cases of stalling and sudden power loss. Many owners found themselves dealing with completely ruined engines before 50,000 miles. Even German engineering couldn't save our next entry. Number 12 is the Volkswagen Jetta with the EA888 2.0-liter turbocharged engine. VW promised European driving dynamics at an affordable price. But owners quickly learned that fun came with steep repair costs. These engines consumed oil at alarming rates, often burning through a full quart every 1,000 miles or less. Timing chain tensioners failed without warning, and when they did, the engine was typically destroyed. Carbon buildup on intake valves became a serious issue because direct injection systems don't wash the valves with fuel like traditional port injection. By 50,000 miles, carbon deposits reduced power and caused misfires. Professional cleaning wasn't cheap. The DSG dual-clutch transmission added insult to injury. While these units shifted crisply when new, they wore out quickly. Mechatronic unit failures required thousands of dollars in repairs and often left drivers completely stranded. Number 11 takes us to the Mini Cooper, specifically 2007 through 2014 models equipped with N12 and N14 engines. Despite their playful appearance, these vehicles harbored serious mechanical problems. Timing chain tensioners were the primary killer, stretching and rattling before eventually allowing the chain to jump timing. Once timing jumped, the engine was completely destroyed. Oil consumption reached ridiculous levels, with some engines drinking oil like old two-stroke motorcycles. Miss a top-off, and you'd end up with spun bearings or seized pistons. Carbon buildup on intake valves destroyed drivability as mileage accumulated. Cooling system failures, particularly water pump problems, cooked cylinder heads prematurely. Mini faced multiple lawsuits over these issues. Owner forums overflow with stories of engines failing before 70,000 miles. Repair costs often exceeded the vehicle's value, making these cars financial disasters for their owners. BMW's engineering reputation took a hit with number 10, the N20 and N54 engines. The N20 four-cylinder, used from 2012 to 2015 in various 3 Series and other models, suffered from timing chain failures. BMW eventually extended warranties after complaints mounted, but many owners experienced engine damage before coverage kicked in. Chains stretched, guides broke, and engines failed well before 70,000 miles. The N54 6-cylinder engine, found in 335i models and others, brought its own set of problems. High-pressure fuel pumps failed repeatedly, leading to recalls and lawsuits. Turbocharger wastegate rattle and carbon buildup turned these performance engines into expensive grenades. When these motors ran properly, they delivered smooth power. When they failed, repair bills easily topped $5,000. Number 9 earned its place as an all-time entry in Automotive Hall of Shame. The Fiat 500, produced from 2012 to 2015, was supposed to bring Italian style to American buyers. Instead, it delivered constant repair orders and disappointed owners. For most of these cars, reaching 70,000 miles was already asking too much. Engines rattled, burned oil, and lost compression early in their lives. Automatic transmissions shuddered, slipped, or simply quit working. Interior components cracked and broke with alarming frequency. Power windows failed regularly. Door handles came loose from normal use. Even seat frames bent under regular use. You simply cannot drive a vehicle that's disintegrating around you. The Chrysler 200, particularly the second-generation 2015 model, takes number 8. Chrysler promoted the sedan as their import fighter, capable of competing with established players. What customers received was a car that gave up far too early. The ZF 9-speed automatic transmission created the biggest headaches. Rough shifting, slipping, and sudden power loss plagued these vehicles from day one. Chrysler released multiple software updates, but fundamental problems persisted. The 2.4-liter Tiger Shark engine consumed oil excessively, sometimes requiring a full quart every 1,000 miles. This excessive consumption led to misfires, catalytic converter damage, and seized engines. Electronics failed frequently. Touchscreens froze regularly. Keyless entry systems malfunctioned. Owner forums document countless horror stories of vehicles shutting down without warning, leaving people stranded in dangerous situations. Number 7 brings us to the Ford Focus and its catastrophic dual-clutch power-shift automatic transmission. This modern-looking compact promised great fuel economy and advanced technology. Instead, the transmission turned the Focus into a rolling lawsuit magnet. Rather than smooth shifts, drivers experienced grinding, jerking, and sudden hesitation. According to investigations by automotive journalists, Ford knew these transmissions failed early, but continued selling vehicles equipped with them anyway. Thousands of NHTSA complaints led to class action lawsuits that dragged on for years. Many transmissions failed before 70,000 miles, with some dying under 30,000 miles. Clutches wore out like brake pads. Control modules failed and left cars stuck in neutral. Owners reported vehicles lurching into traffic unpredictably or refusing to move when needed. This wasn't a minor inconvenience. but a fundamental flaw that made these cars nearly worthless in the used market. The Jeep Cherokee takes number 6, proving that this brand's reliability problems run deep. Year after year, Jeep ranks near the bottom of dependability studies from Consumer Reports and other organizations. The 2014 Cherokee demonstrated exactly why this reputation exists. The same troublesome ZF 9-speed automatic transmission from the Chrysler 200 created the core problems. Hard shifting, gear hunting, and delayed responses made these vehicles feel broken straight from the factory. NHTSA logged thousands of complaints about stalling and sudden power loss. Jeep attempted software fixes, but nothing resolved the underlying issues. The 2.4-liter Tiger Shark engine brought its oil consumption problems to the Cherokee as well. Many owners didn't realize their engines were oil-starved until catastrophic damage occurred, sometimes well before 70,000 miles. Add problematic electronics and recalls for rollaway risks, and you have a crossover that nobody should trust. Number 5 covers multiple Hyundai and Kia models that shared the notorious Theta 2 2.4-liter engine. While different nameplates wore this power plant, they all told the same tragic story. On paper, this engine appeared solid. In reality, it became one of the worst engine disasters of the past decade. Manufacturing defects were built into these engines from the factory. Metal shavings from machining operations clogged oil passages, starving bearings of lubrication. Once bearings wore out, engines began knocking. Ignore that knocking sound, and complete seizure usually followed. According to news reports, Hyundai and Kia recalled over 1.6 million vehicles in 2015 alone due to these engine problems. Additional recalls followed, covering Sonatas, Optimus, Sorrentos, and numerous other models. NHTSA opened investigations after cars stalled on highways. Some vehicles even caught fire due to seized engines and subsequent oil leaks. These engines rarely survived to middle age, and repairs almost always required complete engine replacement. Even luxury German brands couldn't escape reliability disasters, as our number 4 entry proves. The Mercedes-Benz M272 V6 and M273 V8 engines from the mid-2000s dragged the brand's engineering reputation through the mud. The M272 3.0 and 3.5-liter V6 engines appeared in C-Class, E-Class, ML350, and CLK models from approximately 2005 to 2008. The M273 4.6 and 5.5-liter V8 engines went into larger vehicles like S-Class, CLS, and GL models. Both engine families shared the same critical design flaw. Balanced shaft gears in V6 engines and idler gears in V8 engines wore down prematurely. Engines threw camshaft timing codes, rattled loudly, and often failed completely before 70,000 miles, even with perfect maintenance records. This problem became such a widespread issue that Mercedes faced class action lawsuits in the United States. Repairs weren't cheap either, typically costing between $4,000 and $6,000 for complete engine teardown, sometimes more. Additional problems included intake manifold failures, PCV system clogs, and oil leaks that turned these luxury cars into money pits. Nissan's Altima earns number 3 for its disastrous introduction of experimental engine technology. This midsize sedan used to represent a safe, reliable choice in its segment. When Nissan introduced the revolutionary 2.0-liter VC turbo engine in 2019 models, that reputation changed dramatically. The VC designation stands for variable compression, allowing the engine to adjust compression ratios for either power or fuel economy. Marketing presented this as breakthrough technology. Reality told a different story entirely. The 2019 and 2020 Altimas equipped with this engine experienced failures at alarming rates. Owners reported engine knocking, excessive oil consumption, and sudden power loss. Nissan forums filled with stories of cars spending weeks in service departments, while dealers waited for replacement engines. What made this situation worse was Nissan's timing. This represented their major push to rebuild customer trust after years of CVT transmission scandals. Instead, they gave the Altima one of the most failure-prone modern engines ever produced. Number 2 proves that experimental technology becomes even more problematic in luxury applications. The Infiniti QX50 and QX55 crossovers bet heavily on the same problematic VC turbo engine that plagued the Altima. Infiniti positioned these as the first premium crossovers with variable compression technology. Tuning this engine for higher power output only magnified the existing problems. The 2019 through 2022 QX50 and 2022 through 2023 QX55 showed identical issues to their Altima siblings. Engine knocking, high oil consumption, and premature failures plagued these luxury vehicles. NHTSA complaints documented engines stalling without warning, even on busy highways. Some owners required complete engine replacements before reaching 50,000 miles. Infiniti wanted to sell cutting-edge technology to premium buyers. What customers received was an experimental engine that failed young, turning luxury purchases into expensive disappointments. Our number one entry isn't just America's worst vehicle in this category. It's hated worldwide for one fundamental weakness. The Ford F-150 Hybrid, produced from 2021 to 2025, takes the top spot on our list of vehicles that die before 70,000 miles. Ford's F-150 has dominated the American truck market for over 4 decades. No argument there. However, these particular hybrid models brought cutting-edge technology that delivered headaches instead of reliability. Consumer Reports doesn't mince words, ranking these trucks near the bottom with reliability scores as low as 7 out of 100. Owners reported extensive lists of failures. Hybrid battery issues developed early. Transmissions failed prematurely. Coolant leaks appeared regularly. Software glitches caused random problems. Some trucks lost acceleration unexpectedly, while others had engines that refused to start, leaving owners completely stranded. Routine maintenance became expensive gambles. Replacement parts cost significantly more than conventional trucks, and dealership visits became frequent necessities. The hybrid system, designed to improve efficiency, often made problems worse. Battery modules failed prematurely. Regenerative braking behaved unpredictably. Combined with the 10-speed transmission, drivers faced costly repairs well before 70,000 miles. NHTSA complaints documented seized engines, stalled trucks, and complete engine replacements. Owner satisfaction surveys revealed the real story. When asked whether they received value relative to their purchase price, only 30% said yes. That represents a staggering disappointment gap for trucks commanding premium prices. Most buyers felt underwhelmed, frustrated, and financially damaged by their purchase decisions. These F-150 hybrids frequently required towing between 50,000 and 60,000 miles due to catastrophic failures. It represents the ultimate cautionary tale. Even America's best-selling truck isn't immune from fatal engineering flaws. The pattern across all these vehicles reveals a troubling truth about modern automotive manufacturing. Cost-cutting measures, rushed development schedules, and experimental technologies create disasters for consumers. Complex systems fail in complex ways, leaving owners with repair bills that often exceed their vehicle's value. What makes these failures particularly frustrating is their timing. Most occur just as vehicles exit warranty coverage, but well before owners expect major problems. A car dying at 40,000 miles represents a complete financial disaster for most families. Monthly payments continue while repair costs mount, creating impossible financial burdens. The manufacturers on this list share common threads. They prioritized marketing over engineering. They extended service intervals to reduce warranty costs rather than ensure long-term reliability. They implemented experimental technologies without adequate real-world testing. Most importantly, they treated customers as beta testers for unproven systems. These 15 vehicles prove that brand reputation means nothing when fundamental engineering fails. German luxury, American trucks, Japanese reliability, and Italian style all crumbled when faced with poor design decisions and inadequate quality control. No manufacturer remains immune from creating disasters when they lose focus on basic reliability principles. The financial impact extends beyond individual owners. These failures damage entire brands, reduce resale values across model lineups, and erode consumer confidence in new vehicle purchases. Dealerships struggle to sell cars with known problems. Used car buyers avoid entire brands due to reliability concerns. The ripple effects last for years beyond the initial failure patterns. For consumers, this list represents essential knowledge for avoiding financial disasters. These vehicles might appear attractive on dealer lots or in used car listings, but their mechanical time bombs tick toward expensive failures. Smart buyers research reliability records before making purchase decisions. They avoid vehicles with known failure patterns regardless of attractive pricing or marketing promises. The automotive industry must learn from these failures and prioritize long-term reliability over short-term profits. Customers deserve vehicles that last well beyond warranty periods without catastrophic failures. Until manufacturers embrace this philosophy, lists like this one will continue growing longer with each model year. Now that you know which vehicles to avoid, you're probably wondering which cars actually deliver reliable transportation. Don't worry, I've got you covered with vehicles that consistently reach high mileage without major problems. Check out my next video covering cars that simply refuse to die, no matter how you treat them.